So I understand that a few of the things that I'm going to say about Malik Willis in this video are some things that are kind of hard to understand for some people. And I understand that already the title of this video is Malik Willis, Johnny Manziel 2.0. I already understand that that's something that is going to get a lot of hate because even in saying that, I don't necessarily believe that it's true. I don't think Malik Willis is Johnny Manziel 2.0 when you talk about their character, their personality, their off the field attributes. The two of them don't compare. There's already reports of Malik Willis, giving clothes to a homeless person outside of the combine this last couple of weeks. And, there's just a general better feel around Malik Willis than there was about Johnny Manziel coming out of Texas A&M a few years ago. Now, what I will say is the way these two played in college is very similar. And you cannot tell me anything that will take me away from that conclusion. You see in both of their highlight videos, and if you want to look at game tape, if you want to look at every single snap that they, whatever you want to do. Johnny Manziel and Malik Willis both did something very similar when they were at college. They made an average play for them a wow play. They made an average play look like either a huge scramble or a touchdown throw or, their average play on tape when you're trying to look at them as a football player. Their average play was, wow, what did this guy just do? Now, there's a couple reasons why that's bad. One, it sets you up for disappointment because when you get to the NFL, that's not how offenses are ever going to be drawn up. Outside of the Kansas City Chiefs, and even their offense isn't designed to just have wow play after wow play. It happens, but that's not necessarily how it's designed. And B, because defenses both take it a little bit more personally, and defenses are going to be a little bit more difficult both in a schematic standpoint and in a talent standpoint than the teams that Liberty University were playing last year. Malik Willis is not going to have the ability to run around behind the line of scrimmage for 3 or 4 seconds and try to make an incredible play happen. It's just not going to work. The only reason guys like Patrick Mahomes and even Russell Wilson have been able to do things behind the line of scrimmage for an extended period of time is either because A, early in Russell Wilson's career especially, their offensive line was able to handle it, and B, they had elite playmakers down the field where if you gave Patrick Mahomes just half a second to throw the ball to an open guy, it's going to be, a completion. That's how good those guys are. Malik Willis is not to that point yet, and that's a very obvious thing to say, that Malik Willis is not to the standard of Russell Wilson or Patrick Mahomes yet. But I think the part that's worse about it is it's going to be hard to take a player who I think is so used to A, being the most electric player in the field, and he would still be electric if he is on an NFL field. It's just, it's not going to be in the same manner that it was in college. So that's not going to be there when he's on the field. If he's on a team that is not good at all, like say he goes to the Panthers, say he goes to the Lions, which I don't see that happening, but say he goes to the Lions, or say someone, later in the round who needs a quarterback, say maybe, I don't know, somebody trades up and is trying to get Malik Willis. I don't necessarily, if it's the Raiders, that would be a weird move. The Steelers, that would be weird. But the problem is Malik Willis was so good in college that I think it's going to hurt what he looks like in the NFL, because we've seen so many guys like Johnny Manziel, and again, I'm not calling Malik Willis Johnny Manziel, just pointing out the fact that what both of those guys did in college are very similar things. And we've seen other guys come out of college since Johnny Manziel who do a lot of similar things where the average play is an incredible play, and you don't necessarily see them playing quarterback. You see them playing incredible athletic football, not really in a schematic standpoint, but they are just more talented than the guys around them, and they're using it to their advantage. Like Johnny Manziel found out when he got to the NFL, talent is never going to just get you to the top. And Malik Willis is probably the most talented quarterback in this draft. But if he goes to one of these teams, like when Johnny Manziel went to the Cleveland Browns a few years ago, if he goes to one of these teams that's just completely in flux and does not have a good coach, does not have a good offensive coordinator, does not have a good backup or at least veteran quarterback to start for the first year, there's going to be issues for Malik Willis, and we're going to be saying things like he is the next big bust at the quarterback position in the draft, because it seems like everybody right now thinks he's a home run pick. You know, a lot of people think that he is the best quarterback available. I think it's Kenny Pickett. I don't think it's close. But even in saying that, I understand why people are saying what they're saying about Malik Willis, because he presents something that at the quarterback position is not necessarily, you know, it's been more and more valuable over the past few years, but it's never going to have the most value in the world. Having a guy like Malik Willis who not only can throw the ball wherever he wants, but can run the ball whenever he wants, that's something that is valuable in the NFL. Now, he doesn't target the middle of the field, which if you're not going to do that in the NFL, you're never going to succeed at the quarterback position. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you do. If you do not throw in the middle of the field, you are going to be a terrible quarterback in the NFL. And this is the point that I'm trying to drive home with Malik Willis. We've seen him be a good player at college. We didn't see him play great quarterback at college. That's why I think Kenny Pickett is ahead of him in quarterback rankings, because we saw Kenny Pickett play quarterback for Pitt. We saw Malik Willis be a really good football player and play quarterback for Liberty. We didn't see him just be an elite quarterback. I understand that that's something that's a little bit difficult to understand, but I think people who actually understand what I'm saying get it. Malik Willis, like I said, is a great, talented player. He obviously has really good character off of the field, and that's not the point I'm trying to drive home with my comparisons to Johnny Manziel. My comparison to Johnny Manziel only has to do with the fact that on the field, they make people drop their jaws. And when you look at what he does on tape, all you see are just incredible play after incredible play after incredible play. His throws aren't necessarily like tight window throws that are just like, wow, only Malik Willis could have made that throw. And even some of his runs are like, okay, you're playing at Liberty University. You're obviously more talented than everybody on the field. The thing that I always think when I see these guys is, why are you at Liberty? Why are you not at a, like, if Malik Willis was at a, I don't want to say better school than Liberty, because I don't know how they are as a school, but if he was at, say, in Ohio State, if he was at, say, in Alabama or anywhere in the SEC and doing the exact same things, which I'm not saying that he wouldn't do the same things, I'm just saying, you know, for the sake of argument, let's put Malik Willis at, you know, Auburn. Is he doing the same things against an SEC defense? Is he doing the same things against Big Ten defenses? Is he doing the same thing even against Pac-12 defenses that are much more athletic than people give them credit for? I don't necessarily think so, because, you know, everybody in those conferences is much better than the teams that Liberty was playing on a game-by-game basis.